Hey Logicsolver, thanks for your video. It's also been a while since I've managed to put anything up here, but it's nice to get a break from the homework. I'm going to try to get through some of my notes that I had for your video. I unfortunately don't have much time at the moment, but I'd like to try to get through at least some of them, and then I'll try to get back to it hopefully later today. But just to get started, you say that space-time can be regarded as a point along another dimension, but you don't really explain how. I mean, certainly we can't regard anything that's only in two dimensions on our own dimension. Certainly, it's a theory that we could share upper dimensions, but even if we do, then we're not really existing in the same universe. If that were true, the problem is mostly one of semantics. If we were sharing dimensions with another universe, we would still fail to exist within that universe. Because the universe is made of stuff, and stuff can't exist where there's no space for it to exist. Since our universe would be unable to contain any part of a higher dimension, no object from a higher dimension could be said to exist within our universe. If we did happen to share the lower dimensions, we would still be able to interact. We would still be unable to interact with each other in any way whatsoever, and so we could not truly be said to exist in the same space. If no part of two objects ever touch, then they must be said to be separate objects. Since it would not be possible for our universes to touch, then we must be said to be in separate universes, and if that is the case, then we do not actually exist as a point in the higher universe, because we don't exist at all within it. We only exist within our own universe. And it should be said that I restrict the property of existence to that which exists within our universe, and any dimensions, but within our universe and within the space that we exist in. Or not even the space, but being able to actually, come in contact with anything. I think that's a necessity for being a part of the universe. But now, if we talk about a snapshot in time, if you will, then what we talk about is if we talk about the density of an object at a point in time, I won't argue that we're speaking meaningfully. What I will argue is that we're only using points as a way of explaining what we're talking about. What we're actually talking about is the length of time in which we made our observations. We can indeed speak meaningfully about objects that exist between 2 points. However, we're again not discussing the existence of the points themselves, but only the existence of objects between them. So again, the points themselves are only used as a way for us to describe something real. And to speak truthfully, we should really say that we're using them to describe part of something real. Because if the universe has no smallest part, then no part of it is truly separate from another, which means that the only way to describe the differences we observe in movement in objects is to use a concept which does not exist within the universe as a way of artificially dividing the universe on lines that we choose in order to make language possible. And talking about what our eyes see, we don't see points, we see tiny dots. And I mean, talking about cones and rods, we're not looking at points of light, we're just looking at really, really small parts of light. And something that's incredibly small and something that has a size of 0 is much, much different. Yes, we see sections of time, but the exact points which delimitate those sections from each other are impossible to find, and so we make arbitrary decisions on how to divide them. The idea of perdurance is that objects exist by virtue of their temporal parts, but it should be said that the idea of perdurance is never meant to be a method of describing the nature of an object's existence, only to help us describe the difference between two objects. And I will agree that at their root, perdurance and endurance are essentially the same concept, which is simply described using different language. The idea of endurance speaks of the existence of the universe as a whole, and perdurance provides us with more flexible language with which we can describe parts of the universe. And while they seem to counter each other, they never truly contradict one another. I'm going to leave it at that and save the time travel section for later on. So, yeah, get back to me, and I'll talk to you soon.